Hello, Africa. My name is Eunice Tony, and this is eTVGhana's African Women's Voices Show. Wow, another pleasant Wednesday is here. And the important thing to note is that on Wednesdays, it's actually Women Crush Wednesday. So we always ask people to identify those women that they're crushing on and then say something nice to them. We also realize that today also is a day for friends to be checking up on each other. So which friend did you check up on? If you haven't checked up on your friend yet, please give your friends, messages, give them calls, make them feel very happy, and also to say, wow, how lovely a friend you are. Today's episode promises to be very exciting because we're going to be talking about a special kind of people here in Ghana. And everybody gets interested in conversations around them. So I need you to come very close to your TV set because I wouldn't want you to miss this for anything. However, I'd like to say a very big thank you to all the sponsors that are making it possible for us to be here today. And as usual, I always introduce my hydration partner, Voltic. Voltic should come to you naturally whenever you feel thirsty. And we also want you to know that Voltic is very, very environmentally friendly. And we say that once you feel thirsty, pick up your Voltic. Once you've consumed it, twist it, put it in our bin for recycling, because we do not want to have everywhere in Ghana littered with plastic waste. You see what happened today after it rained? There was a lot of flood situation, traffic everywhere, houses were flooded. People did not know where to pass. That's why Voltic is advocating that you should not throw your waste products, especially plastics, into, the gutters. Just find our bins at vantage points and then we'll get them recycled. Sankofa Natural Spices has been making Ghanaian dishes very tasty. So if you haven't tried the latest spice in town, we would implore you to go to the market or to your vendor and ask for Sankofa Natural Spices. Bite Catering Services also has been ensuring that we are taken care of in terms of refreshments for that party, for that special occasion of yours, naming ceremony, wedding, whatever it is. Just call on Bite Catering Services and they'll be able to sort you out. She bakes delicious cakes and she's very good with local and continental dishes. So look out for Bite on Instagram and she will sort you out, okay? I know some of you will be wondering who has made me look as pretty as I am right now. Okay, for my hair, it was proudly put together by Awu's Hair, and you can find her on Instagram. For that hair need that you have, she's going to sort you out, whether it's long, braids, weaves, whatever it is. Check her out on Instagram and she will definitely sort you out. And my dress is proudly put together by Afariwa Styles. Afariwa Styles is making me look lovely. Everywhere I go, I wear Afariwa, and I'm so proud to rock Afariwa Styles. I'm going to let you know where you can locate them so that you can also rock Afariwa Styles. Afariwa is located on the Bush Road along Teshi. So once you're on the Bush Road, just keep straight and then you just look to the side. You'll find Afariwa Styles strategically positioned. Afariwa has also gotten another branch in Osu. So if you look on your screens, you're going to find her phone number located there. She's also got delivery services available. So if you cannot come to, to the shop, no problem. Check her out on Facebook at afariwa.styles and also on Instagram. Once you like what you've seen there, let her know your size and it will be delivered onto you. Afariwa Styles has also put together gift vouchers. Yes, so now you do not need to think about what to give to people whenever they have special moments. Give them an Afariwa Styles gift voucher. And the good thing about Afariwa is that she actually produces contemporary outfits for both men and for women. When it comes to white apparels, wow, she makes very nice ones too. We are going to be celebrating a lot towards the end of the year. So that white apparel of yours, I'm telling you, you need to go to Afariwa, get your gift voucher, or go there straight and have Afariwa sort you out. Okay, so before we get our guest to be talking to us, I'd like us to go over to the 60-second segment where we actually update you on what happens to women in Ghana and across Africa. Do stay tuned.
Monica Musonda, CEO of Zambian food processing company Java Foods, certainly faced hurdles in her rise to the top, but she overcame. Although the barriers to entry for women can be frustrating, they are often basic and relatively easy to resolve, she said. My climb up to the agribusiness ladder has been challenging but definitely worthwhile. Musonda, whose company produces affordable and nutritious food snacks made from local ingredients, is one of just a handful of female agripreneurs who have successfully broken through the proverbial glass ceiling in Africa's agribusiness industry. She said in an interview, "Women are the backbone of Africa's agricultural sector." A group of protesters, mostly women, on Friday marched to the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare's head office in Windhoek, have called on the ministry's two political heads, Doreen Sioka and her deputy Bernadette Jaga, to resign, reading a resignation letter on behalf of the Anti-Sexual and Gender-Based Violence (SGBU) movement. Activist Indilo Intengwe said the ministry has failed to come up with an action plan against SGBU. She said the minister and deputy have disappointed the youth, teachers, mothers and daughters of Namibia. The country director of Plan International Ghana, Mr. Solomon Tesfamarian, has called on government and stakeholders to rigorously monitor the abuse of girls online. He said abuse and harassment of girls were fast becoming a major threat to young females, with very limited measures to protect them from online gender-based violence, especially amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Tesfamarian made the call at the end of a 3-day workshop to commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child, organized in Accra by the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection and its partners. The celebration, which was on the theme, "My Voice, Our Equal Future," sought to empower girls and give them a voice for greater future. Nollywood actress Tonto Dike is threatening to sue a blogging site for publishing fake news about her on the EndSARS movement. According to her, the website's Global Excellence claimed that she had been linked to pro-SARS movement. She called their story insensitive, malicious, and wrong. The actress stated that she has and will always stand for the end of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad and any other cause that champions equality in Nigeria. She added, "Nobody, I repeat, nobody should attach me to this. I am Nigerian first before any other thing."
And you're welcome back to eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. Wow. Okay, our guest is in, and I'm going to be introducing you to our guest right away. So I want to believe that you are ready and you are glued to your set. I mentioned earlier that we are going to be talking to somebody who is coming from a very special part of Ghana, and everybody takes interest in them whenever we have to talk about them. And these people are the people in the Zongo. Now, she's going to take us through exactly what it means to be someone from the Zongo. We know it as Zongo, but she was telling me off camera that it's supposed to be spelled Zango. And, well, let me let her do that, okay? All right, you're welcome, Adiza, to the show.
Thank you very much. Merci, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, too. All right, so our guest is here with us, and most of the time, our audience likes to know who it is that they're talking to. When I introduce, I may not say everything. So it's just best for you to introduce yourself to our audience so that they get to know who it is they're talking to. So you have the time.
Good evening to your viewers.
Yes.
My name is Adiza Ibrahim Sadek, but popularly known as Kubra Diamonds.
Kubra Diamond.
Diamonds.
Okay.
Yes. It should have been Kubra Diamond, but I added S because it symbolizes the kind of followers I have.
Your followers are diamonds.
They are diamonds.
Wow.
We are precious jewels. You cannot buy us. You can't demoralize us.
Okay.
You can't demean us.
Wow.
We are women. And in Islam, a woman is supposed to be held in high esteem. Kubra is my compound name. Every Khadija, Adiza His compound name is Kubra. And so I decided to use my compound name and then add my followers, which is Kubra Diamonds. Yes.
Wow. And we are so happy to be meeting you today because, I mean, we see you all over Instagram and we kind of like what you're doing. And today you are on our show. I want to say a very big welcome to you once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right. So we were talking about Zongo and Zango. Could you please take my audience through what exactly you were trying to make us understand?
Okay, so I actually started calling it Zongo until one guy, let me give him acknowledgement. He lives in the Zongo, in like Accra. Zongo is very big. He said, Adiza, you keep saying Zongo, but it's not Zongo. The actual pronunciation is Zango. But then, you know, just like my name, Khadija, it's Khadija, but they call it Adiza. Oh. But when you go into our holy book, Quran, there is nothing like Adiza. It's Nana Khadija, wife to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so Zango, but because we lived with Christians, we lived with people who probably couldn't mention it right, they decided to call it Zango Zango, and it became like that. Okay. But the correct pronunciation is Zango.
Zango.
Yes.
So Z.
And you know houses are in Nigeria. And if you say Zongo, they will not know what you mean by Zongo. But you have to say Zango.
Zango.
So, yeah, in basic term.
Okay,
Zango,
so now we've learned that. So please stop saying Zongo, okay? It's actually Zango because Zongo does not exist. You could try and Google it and see how true that is. You're going to find Zango and you're not going to find Zongo. Okay, so what does it mean to be somebody from the Zango?
Hey, what does it mean to be somebody from
the Zango? Because, well, okay, let me let you know what already it appears like when they say that you're from the Zango, it feels like you're someone from a deprived environment, or you lack certain privileges or some manners. You lack them all. So it looks like you're somebody who is not somebody that should be respected. Is that how it should be?
That's not how it's supposed to be. It's all based on perception, and probably when you have a group of people, you definitely have some people who behave in a manner that easily it can be tagged or be referenced to everybody. Zango is a beautiful place to live. And on record, Zango is not a place for only Muslims. You'll be surprised to know that there are indigents from Ashanti, from Volta, from Western, from Eastern, from all over Ghana who live in Zango. It doesn't take anything to be Zango. When you are born there, you are born in Zango. And it's not only Muslim who live in Zango. There are different ethnic groups who live in Zango. Zango, like people perceive, we are by heart, we are ignorant, you know, they see us to be really hard. But that is not the Zango. I think a lot of people need to get close to see who the Zango is. Yes, you mentioned less deprived. I won't take away the fact that we are a bit deprived, but times are changing. We are changing the narrative, we are changing the situations, we are changing the status quo. But I will not deny the fact that when you visit Zango today, even by looking at some of the settlement, you will agree that we are a bit less deprived.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, I mean, being deprived sometimes it's not really your fault. It just happens that maybe society hasn't
like that
the way it is.
Yes.
But don't you think that people in the Zango also contribute to the reason why people do some things like that to them, or maybe relegate them? Because it's like when you come into those settlements, in terms of sanitary conditions, it's not the best. And, you know, sometimes when you come there, it feels like, do human beings actually live in a place like this? But they feel very comfortable to stay in that kind of place.
I have a lot of relatives in both external and nuclear who live around Zongo, who live in Zango. When you talk about sanitation, I will correct it to be that it's a national canker. You will go to I don't want to mention areas for it to look like I'm doing comparison, but you go to areas that ideally you expect to see sanitation, but it is poor. So it is not only in Zongo that you see like sanitation issue, but the thing is that we have a lot of people who are still not educated.
Okay.
We have a lot of people who are trying to they are now transition from not being educated to now understanding the fact that education is very key.
Okay.
And so we have quite a number of people who are still living and thinking backwards.
Okay.
Pardon my language,
Yeah,
but
I
that is the
understand.
reality. So a woman's living here and selling pure water sees something wrong with where she is. Gutters haven't been distilled,
Yeah.
rubbish scattered all over the place, and she doesn't care because it has become a communal something. Once that person is not doing it, I'm also not doing it. And I blame it on ignorance.
Okay.
Yes. And lack
Okay.
of education.
And lack of education.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now that we know that, well, education could be part of the reason why things are the way it is, we want to go to the brighter side. We've also realized that a lot of women like you and some other women we are going to be talking about on the show today are beginning to make giant strides to ensure that labeling, the stereotype against the Zongo woman is abolished. So they are empowering women in so many ways. Even I saw that people are going into digitizing, you know, the Zongo woman. People are looking
Zongo
at mental
Vision is
health.
doing
People
really
are
well.
looking at, you know, taking care of them and maybe giving them some kind of skills just to empower a lot of women in the Zongo. And the interesting thing about the Zongos is that let's say a lot of political parties, even right now that we're about to approach, you know, our election day, everybody knows that the Zongo is very key to them. So they always want to make promises or to say we'll be able to do ABC for you, because the Zongo, even though people feel that they are deprived, they've got power.
Yes.
A lot of power. They wield a lot of power, despite the fact that people feel that, okay, they are deprived, they're not educated, okay, they don't live in the best of sanitary conditions, but they've got this power. So I want to understand the reason why people like you decided to begin to empower women in the Zongo. Yes, it's true that I have just highlighted that you want to get the labeling and the stereotype away from them. That was part of the reason why you decided to start the group that you've got. What's the name of the group?
It's called Kubra Diamonds.
Kubra
and the
Diamonds.
group members are called Diamonds. But it's
Okay.
a blog.
It's a
that
blog.
empowers women, that speaks for women and vulnerable children.
Okay.
Yes.
So if it's a blog, it means that the Zongo women who are on this blog,
A lot of them
they're
are
all
women.
educated and they know how to make
Some
use of...
are educated, others are not educated.
Okay.
It doesn't take someone to be educated. In the world we find ourselves in, you realize that they are using smartphones and they are always on social media. Some are on it, but I won't say they are educated to a certain level, maybe up to SHS, JHS, but I have quite a number of them who are also highly educated. They hold master's degree, some of them hold PhD. Yes.
Okay, so can you take us some of the interventions or some of the support that you've actually, you know, given to these women to get them empowered?
I started this like 3.5 years ago, and anytime I started with writing. I haven't lived in the Zongo.
Okay.
But I lived in an area in Ashaman called Ashaman, Lebanon, which was a new area. And I passed through Ashaman to come to Accra because I did my university education in Accra. And so every time I passed through Ashaman to come. And then you live in an area which is not far from you. And so some of the happenings in the area, you will definitely hear about it. And so I started, we are in digital world. A lot of people spend quite a number of an amount on buying data to come on social media.
Yeah.
I need to change the way people perceive us. They stereotype us a lot. You mention where you are coming from, and the next thing in Chi, when you say Mumunko school. And after national service, I realized that wherever I worked, it was difficult to count the number of women, I wouldn't say Muslim, but women coming from the Zongo communities. So to say Muslim, it was very difficult. So along the line, I said, I have experience in digital marketing. And once I'm a marketing person by profession, I can use it to sensitize people. I can create a platform, because I also studied broadcast journalism, but I'm not practicing it. So I can actually put the realities of what happens in the Zongo. I can put it together and in a way of writing it, educate and empower and inform them.
Okay.
So that is what the strategy I adapted. And I started writing. I married. I changed up to 14 times.
Okay.
But after marriage, I realized that there is no point in doing it. So I tried to look for the problem. And I realized it was something that it was a set standard. We have called on ourselves. We have placed on ourselves, majority of us. It's not in the holy book. Nobody has said this is the right way, whether you do it or you don't do it. Your marriage will not be verified.
Okay.
But we have set it on us. So clearly, it's a matter of ignorance. And so me having done that, and definitely, there are people looking up to me. There are young girls looking up to me because I have set a standard, thinking that that is what you are supposed to do. Meanwhile, we will all agree that most of our people are not empowered financially. I got the opportunity because my dad, maybe my partner and myself were capable, because when I married, I was working.
Okay.
But here is a young girl who is telling me that you changed up to 14 years, even from my home, in my own family.
What were you
and
changing
so
for 14 years?
My clothing.
Oh.
For 14 times.
14 times?
Yes.
I don't understand. Like, if
when we marry, we change up to a number of times.
14 times?
Yes, and it is buying pressure for a lot of young girls. I did it. And I always say that it is not the right thing to do. That money invested in the clothing could have yielded me a lot of profits now. So I started by using the realities, the truth. I call it, I speak my truth. I changed 14 times. What happened? Did they add anything to my marriage? No. So I came into marriage and I realized that marriage goes beyond changing. So a lot of my people rather invest in the kind of way they want to look on their marriage day. There is no proper counseling. So she goes into the marriage thinking that it's all about doing the fanfare, like my dad would term it, and not thinking about how the marriage is. What is marriage? She doesn't know about it. But because I have set an example, she feels that is the right way. So I needed to speak to them. I needed to tell them the reality. Yes, if you have the money and you want to change up to 20 times, it's nobody's business. But you don't go borrowing because you want to satisfy the society. Society will not come in if there is issue in your marriage. Society will not tell you that you need to invest in the education of your kids. You don't need to give birth before you start investing. For them.
So these are all the things you teach them on your blog?
Yes. A lace costs not less than 500 cedi for a bride. So if I've changed up to 14 times, assuming my lace is not as expensive as they term it, because we have 70, we have 9,000, we have 8,000, we have 20,000. Assuming I'm putting a price tag of 5,000 and I change 14 times, how much is that?
That's a whole lot of money.
Okay, so we needed people to talk about it. So I took it upon myself that this is what I want to do. I want to tell them the truth.
So do we have some visuals, of some of the, interventions that you've, actually. So if we can have some of the visuals of some of the interventions, I would really appreciate it, so that our audience would get to follow the story as we tell it. Okay. So what was happening here? So when I started blogging, these young girls are in, I think, Kanda, Nima, yes. They are the founder of the space. They are called Young Achievers, called me in to come and teach them how to blog. Okay. Because I started writing stories
and some newspapers, like some print stations, started picking it up, like Spectators started publishing it.
Okay,
and
so
so I
what was
went there to
happening here?
speak to them. Oh, this was recent. I launched the Zongo Women Livelihood and Empowerment Program.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, and
This
what was
was
happening
just
here too?
recent, 3 weeks ago. So these are about up to like 70, if I'm not exaggerating, about 70 women whom I picked from social media. When I write the stories like this, they come into my inbox. I wake up to a lot of messages. They come in and tell
Wow.
me, these are the young girls, yes.
Okay, Bali Queen?
Yes, she's a makeup artist. She partnered me. I
Okay.
had 6 makeup artists who also related to the situation I'm talking about. Most of them have completed school. They are not getting jobs.
Okay.
They are done with national service. It's been years and they are still home. Some come from less privileged home. Some do not get this financial support at all. Some, their parents do not also believe that they can do makeup artists, or they shouldn't do it. So they all have different stories. So I spoke to them. They actually come to me because I opened it. I'm like, I want us to go beyond blogging. I want to go beyond the fact that every time I'm waking up to Kubra Diamonds, you inspire me so much. I can relate. This is my reality. I can do this. I wanted to go also beyond giving them money. I've had to give young girls money to go and start up businesses. Some of them go and they don't come back.
Wow.
I am tired of coming to ask people, let us contribute to intervene for this lady because she's living a hell in her marriage. And so if I'm able to empower you this way through capacity development, when you are able, when you make 10 people up in a day, it all comes from the mindset. You just started. But this is a dream you want to live because you don't want to go begging people for money. If you're able to make up 5 people and you are charging them 20 cedis per day, that is how much? That is 100 cedis. And you know, as we love functions, when we are marrying, when we are doing naming ceremonies, it's long, unending. It starts Wednesday and ends on Sunday. And so you look around you. You look for your target audience. You make them up. You charge them.
Wow.
If you do 3 days for 10, 3 days, 5, that's 15 people. 20 cities by 15 people.
I'm going to make us continue this conversation, but we'll have to go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll get to know more about what Hadiza has been doing to empower women. Do stay tuned. I'm really getting educated. I actually thought it was a tradition to keep changing clothes at Muslim weddings. And I'm getting people also sending us waves from the UK. Gloria Okereke, thank you so much for sending us your wave. We see you, you're watching. Thank you so much. I also see somebody, he says his name is Ernest. Ernest, thank you so much for your wave. We are also seeing Ajuba Amwa. Quay, she's also sending a wave. Thank you so much. I also see several other waves, and I'm going to acknowledge you very soon. So let's continue with the conversation. So now that we know that you've actually empowered women to be able to get some kind of skills for themselves, you mentioned at least this beautification skill, because it's something that a lot of people is very lucrative, and because of the kind of ceremonies you hold, you always find people who would want to look good. So you get your target audience and then you focus on those people. You mentioned that sometimes you have to ask people for funds to help and all of that. That brings me to the fact that a lot of times these groups are not very easy to run because of funding. So are you affiliated to any kind of political party or something? Because a lot of times those who have the money to be funding these things are having political affiliations and stuff. Or is it neutral? You get, funding from both sides, anywhere the money comes from. Once it's for a good purpose, then that's how it is.
Most definitely. I'm not affiliated to any political party.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm open to funds. The recent one I did, I took a fund as a loan, which I'll actually pay back later.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you took up a facility with a bank.
Yes, and I also added my own personal money. Yes.
All right. So we would like to acknowledge some of the women who have been playing this kind of role in empowering women of Zongo, because we are all part of this, and we want to be able to ensure that nobody will see a Zongo woman or Zongo girl and look down on her.
Yeah.
That stereotype has to leave. The label has to go away. We need to see every Ghanaian woman as a typical Ghanaian woman and not have to say, oh, this person comes from this and all of that. No, we are preaching one Ghana. And eTVGhana is African Women's Voices. That's why we are here. We want to ensure that we are all moving together and building the nation. And just know that we identify the fact that no matter how deprived the Zongo woman is, she really has got a lot of power, as I mentioned before. And then that's why a lot of people keep chasing after them to ensure that they've got their vote, you know, and, you know, yeah, that's true. So I would like to mention first the second lady of the country, Mrs. Baumia.
Yeah.
She's somebody that a lot of people look up to and has also tried to change the face of the Zongo women.
Yes.
She's empowered them in various ways and forms, and even quite recently we saw that she was in Tamale where they were inaugurating another group, you know, for, you know, empowerment. We also would also not leave today without mentioning somebody like Mrs. Aliu Mahama, who has also contributed to the development of Zongo women. Thank you so much. So we're going to open the phone lines later on the show, and it will be very good to hear your goodwill messages to all these people who are contributing to the development of the Zongo women. And here we have you, Adiza. At least we have you here live, where you're talking to us about how you've empowered a lot of Zongo women. We also will not leave without mentioning someone who is in the broadcasting network, like Shamima Muslim.
Yeah,
she
Ramana.
actually has put together the Alliance
of Women in Media.
Yes.
Yes.
So she's put that together, and she's been making giant strides with empowering Zongo women as well. So aside the fact that she is a journalist, she's also ensuring that the face of the Zongo woman is not going to be as it used to be before. And so are there other notable women also that you want to mention?
Ramana Abdullahi.
Ramana
Sharif.
Abdullahi, okay.
Yeah, she has the Professional Muslim Network.
Okay.
Career Muslim woman. She has a platform.
For them?
Yes, yes.
For the career women?
Yes, career Muslim women.
Because definitely they may be facing some kind of challenges
yes.
being career women.
Because of our religion.
Exactly.
Yes,
so she helps them to strike a balance
yes.
between their families
yes.
and career.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
There is also Swat Abdullahi and there's Zalia Kasim, who are the founders of World Muslim Women.
Okay.
And I am a moderator. I'm an administrator. Yes. So we are also there. We encourage the women. We speak to them about the happenings of 21st century. And we try to change the way a lot of them think. A lot of them do not have the confidence. They have the potential, but there's no confidence.
There's no confidence.
And so we try to speak to them, we guide them. There are women who are very spiritual when it comes to their religion. They are well versed. So there is a timetable each day and what they come to guide us on.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
There's this one that is also into mental health.
Asmao.
That's
my sister, yes.
Wow.
Asmao is also doing very well with mental health.
With the mental health.
And awareness.
Yeah, the good thing about mental health is the fact that a lot of times people do not know that somebody could be just next to you smiling, but mentally it's not okay. So for people who really focus on the mental health of people, be it men or women, we actually want to say a very, very big thank you to you, because it's very silent. Well. Yeah,
she in
very
particular,
silent.
I want to acknowledge her and also thank her because she intervened for me on my behalf for a young girl who wanted to commit suicide.
Oh, really?
And I was called all the way from Tamale. She wanted to commit suicide because she got into a very nasty relationship. And she wanted to end it all. So I called on my sister and she intervened. And today the lady is living and she's fine.
Wow,
yes.
That's so beautiful.
Asmao, yeah.
Thank you very much, Asmao. There's also this one that is into fashion, you know,
there's
in
Zaki,
clothing.
Zalia, she's in, I don't know if she's in the pictures.
One of the pictures you shared.
She is also pushing the modest fashion. Easily when we are in the scene like that, we forget that our religion has some limitations and restriction. And so she comes in with having to dress in a modest way and still rock fashion.
And still rock
and still look fashionable, yes. Zalia is also doing well.
A
Haja
very
Zalia.
big thank you to you all.
She was one of the guest speakers for my launch. And she
Okay.
spoke to the girls really well. It was very powerful.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So you mean to say that the ladies are actually accepting, you know, what you are bringing to them?
Yes.
Or is it a case where it's very difficult bringing it to them because they feel that, hey, you are trying to, you know, bring standards or change things from the way we know them to be and all of that? Are they really accepting?
I get excellent feedback.
Okay.
You know, you will decide to do it. You can do it. But then if there is no feedback, you won't know the direction. You won't know whether to continue or to stop. But I get positive feedback. I get it. Adiza, Kubra Diamonds, you changed the way I perceived things. You made me leave that young man who is molesting me just because of 20 cedis or 10 cedis.
And how are the men seeing you? Are they
Some
seeing you
of
as
them,
someone who is really
yes,
a threat?
I get some attack, but it's fine. I can handle it. I'm guided by truth. And once you speak the truth, you shouldn't fear. I'm guided by the truth, and I'm guided by the realities. Yeah.
Nice. So, what kind of challenges would you say you're facing? You know, I know number one will be fund. Definitely. Everyone who sets up a group will always have issues with funds. And are there other challenges that you face? Okay, the second one is the fact that sometimes if the men may see you as a threat because you're trying to empower the women. So by the time the woman becomes empowered, she's no longer going to be dependent. And somehow the man begins to feel uncomfortable. I don't have grip over this lady anymore. She's become so independent.
And it's actually supposed not to be so. It's not supposed to be like that. In Islam, men are leaders. They are the men of the house. They are the fathers of the home. They are supposed to be responsible for our upkeep. They are supposed to be responsible for our shelter. And so we don't expect to see men who will be too autocratic on us. Things are changing. If you are not allowing her to pursue her dreams, you married her with a degree and you are telling her not to work because you don't want her to go out there. When your woman grows, when your wife grows, she becomes phenomenon. You become phenomenon yourself.
Yes, and that's true.
We have a lot of potential. I won't even exaggerate. But some of the men don't allow us. Some of the men have mixed our culture or their traditions with our religion. Our beautiful religion that liberates woman, that knows that a woman is very worthy, that understand the fact that a woman is supposed to be financially dependent. Nana Khadija, I was named after her, was very rich. She commanded a lot of respect. She was a hard-working woman. So why do you want to tell the young woman not to work?
Well, because maybe sometimes they feel that she no longer be submissive because she's seeing money.
They feel we go beyond our boundaries. But that's not the case. And so when I speak to them, I tell them that let us all be guided by our religion because we have some limitations. It's just like policies and procedure. You can't go beyond it. And so always be guided by your religion. But a woman must go out there and work. We need to also achieve the SDGs. No poverty, quality education, inequality. We need to partner each other. When you come to the Zongo, there are phenomenal women, I can't even mention, doing well in diverse careers. But we have the women.
Wow, that's wonderful.
We have the women.
I also noticed that you have also been nominated for the NCA, you know, the National Communications Awards. For what position is that?
Marketing, corporate something. Marketing.
Okay.
Yes.
So how is that going?
I'm counting on their votes.
You're counting on their vote, eh?
Yes. I'm counting on their vote to win, yes.
All right.
We work not for awards, but if we have been recognized for our work, I think it's only in line that we also follow suit and ask people to vote for us to win. But with or without an award, we are fine. We are soldiering on. Sorry.
Okay, so we'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Yeah, welcome back to eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. The conversation was quite interesting and I had to take my Voltic. I hope you did pick your own Voltic during the commercial break. Voltic, my hydration partner, sorted me out. Thank you so much. So we're talking about your nomination. So you are actually canvassing for the votes, and you're asking that the audience will do you the honors and get you to win it. We'll all be very happy to also announce that, hey, Adiza has finally won the award. We were talking to her just a few days ago, and then that's what happened.
Very much.
So we are hoping that you get it.
That's my work. That's the mainstream work that I do. I'm a marketing professional. Yes.
Okay. So let me go to our Facebook page and get to read the comments that are coming up from there. So I'm seeing a message from Hassana. Hassana is saying that I'm really enjoying the conversation with Adiza. She has really opened my eyes. You have no idea what I am going through, but your conversation has shown me the light. All right, Hassana. So you need to reach out to Adiza, on her Instagram page, Kubwa Diamonds, Kubra Diamonds, and then you get to talk to her the more. I'm getting a lot of messages from anyway, they have Muslim names, so they are very likely to know you, I guess so. So there's another one, her name too is Hadiza, and Hadiza says, thank you so much for talking about the Zongo. All the time, people keep saying that we are deprived, that we lack manners, and that we don't even deserve to be in the midst of city people. But today, I'm so happy you're having this conversation with Adiza. Zongo people too, we also dey. Hey. Another message from Ajuba Amwakwe says, Adiza, you are phenomenal. May Allah bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we are also getting a message from a man. He's Abdullahi. Abdullahi is saying, okay, he's messaging us from the UK. He says he's so happy with what you're telling us on the show. It means that Muslim ladies are beginning to really showcase what they are made of. He's proud of you for empowering more women and also trying to teach women how to balance family life and also balance their work. Oh, thank you very much, Abdullahi. I also have another message from Mohammed. Mohammed says, thank you very much for bringing a Zongo woman to your studio. I never thought that you ever do that. Thank you, eTVGhana.
Why is this the first
time? Well, anyway, maybe they've been watching the programs and they felt, okay, maybe it's for certain kind of people. We embrace every kind of woman, okay? And Zongos are also parts, all right? Thank you so much. Latif, the men are talking.
Thank you.
Latif is talking from the United States of America. Latif says, thank you so much. Adiza, you are so much on point. Thank you. I'm going to let my sister reach out to you. She really needs to hear from you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I've also got another message from Abdul Karim. Abdul Karim is sending us a message from Saudi Arabia. He says, thank you so much. I love the show. Empowering women should be our ultimate goal as a nation. All right. So the messages are just tripping in. It's just tripping and tripping and tripping. She's asking for where her diamonds are. Diamonds, would you want to give us a call? We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we return, try and make your call come through, okay? All right. You're welcome back. Please, I'd like you to know that eTVGhana will broadcast the Miss Ghana 2020 Grand Finale on Sunday, the 1st of November 2020 at 3 p.m. So do tune in, okay? And Canoe Karaoke has got a message for us. It's been 12 weeks of exciting performances from 24 different singers on the Canoe Karaoke TV show on eTVGhana, and the season finale is on Friday, the 30th of October 2020 at 7:30 p.m. Of all the singers, who was the most fun? Who was the best performer? Tune in this Friday to find out, with performances from guest artists Mr. Miles and Israel Stone. The season finale of the Canoe Karaoke will definitely be lit, so don't miss it. Watch the Canoe Karaoke season finale with Johnny Stone this Friday, the 30th of October 2020 at 7:30 p.m. on eTVGhana. Remember, eTVGhana is your world of quality entertainment. Well, before we wrap up the show, as we approach the elections, we would like Adiza to speak to Ghanaian women, to speak to the Zongo women in a native language that she feels very comfortable. You can do it in Butchri and in both your language. We just want something very short to them to know that they need to actually be very peaceful and also to observe all the protocols that ought to be observed before going to the polls. So please take it away.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Kun san mun kai election time saboda Allah da Annabi yankuri kakuba wani yazo ya use mu yace a ta yi fada saboda Allah da Annabi mu kama kanmu ranan yazo ka te kai voting ka komo gida salamu ka zo ka zauna da family ka kanmu yadda wani yazo ya ce kaman aka bi kudin ga a ta yi fada kullum ba mu da ta take advantage of us like this saboda Allah da Annabi mu kuma Zango ya kamata a kira sunan mu kan magana da ke da dadi ba magana da an ce an ta yi an yi fada ba isa magana da dan fadin muku ke ga brothers sina sisters sina kowa da kowa we Zango people we are not violent.
Yes.
People stereotype, people perceive, but please in the name of Allah let us desist. Let us avoid anything that will bring any election conflict. Don't be used as scapegoat. Don't be used as the mechanism to create violence. Please, we are very peaceful. Let us maintain it. You know our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a peaceful man, and our religion preaches peace. Please. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adiza. And on that peaceful note, we'd like to call it a night. Thank you so much for joining us on eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. If you were not able to start watching from the beginning, the repeat broadcast will be shown to you on Saturday at 12 noon. So see you same time next week. Bye-bye.